Okay, we're good? Okay. Good morning. Is that better? That's better. Okay. Welcome to the live in-person and live Zoom worship service of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside. Our opening hymn this morning is number 128, For All That Is Our Life, from the Gray Hymnal. Please feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you, but with your masks on. Please stand in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 128, For All That Is Our Life.
For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is our gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is our gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Thank you for joining us here in person, and thank you for joining us remotely by Zoom, where we will continue live streaming and posting these services on our YouTube channel for our virtual attendees. I'm Grace Preuss, a member of the Worship Committee, and I will be your worship associate today. Other members of the Worship Committee you will hear from include Alec Peck, who has been leading us in our hymns, his accompanist, Margaret, and Tinka Friend, who will be reading our homily selection today. We welcome you to join us this morning with an open mind and an open heart, and with muted electronic devices, please. Regardless of whether this is your first time here or your 101st time, we are glad you are here. This community is what we are because of your presence. So welcome into this space of love, justice, compassion, and fellowship. We are glad you are here. The theme of today's service is thankfulness. Throughout the program, we invite you to reflect on all the things in your life that you are grateful for. Although our doors are open, the pandemic is not over. So while we are in the sanctuary, please keep your masks on while singing and take considerate steps to keep one another safe. Before we move into the service, there are a few announcements we would like to share. We will mention several websites, email addresses, and phone numbers. At the end of the service, we will leave up a slide with all of this information, and it is also available on our website. Weekly COVID announcement. There's not much we can say. It's a little bit confusing out there, but we can say you can make an appointment at vaccine.ca.gov, or for more information and more options of vaccine locations, please go to covid19.ca.gov. Let's all take personal responsibility to protect ourselves and others. We're all in this together. Don't forget to join us next week after the service for the first Sunday luncheon. Next week, our theme will be one-pot meals. Join us on Saturday, December 10th at 2 p.m. for a Christmas party, which will be a joint venture of the Church Council and the Women's Federation. There will be light snacks, refreshments, and of course, fellowship. Festival of Lights. We are well into the first weekend of the Festival of Lights. If you are able to be here to help with the sales in our parish hall, please contact Linda Van Voris or Kate Lewicki. She's up there in the sound booth. If you are able to donate soda, bottled water, or snacks, please bring them to the church office during the week or on Sunday morning. This concludes today's announcements. And now I invite you to sit back and take a slow, deep breath as we move into the worship hour. You are welcome to read with me the reading, "We Give Thanks This Day." Please join me in reading the bold italicized lines. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, we give thanks this day. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, we give thanks this day. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, we give thanks this day. For our human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, we give thanks this day. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, we give thanks this day. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, we give thanks this day. For human liberty and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, we give thanks this day. We pray that we may not live by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. As we approach the closing days of the year, we find ourselves once again in the season of reflection, hope, and gratitude. It is no coincidence that the word thank sounds like the word think. Being thankful is an active intention, a conscious practice of focusing on what's good in our lives and showing appreciation for the blessings, sometimes hidden, that are around us. Let's take a moment to ask ourselves, what am I thankful for today? We have two lightings of sacred flames. The first is the occupied Indigenous Peoples Remembrance Candle. The second is the lighting of our own chalice, the symbol of our faith. We walk upon the traditional territories of diverse and sovereign peoples, the original people of this land, who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. This spot we occupy was first the sacred place of several groups of Indigenous peoples, including the Cahuilla, the Cupeño, and the Serrano. We, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, light this sacred flame as the stewards of this sacred and holy place. We are blessed with a space and opportunity to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to be part of a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together. Today's reading for the chalice lighting is The Abundance of Our Lives Together by Katie Gelfand. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude, as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is a sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. Thank you, Bill. Now we'll move on to greeting our guests. We have a tradition at UUCR to welcome those who are visitors or perhaps returning after some time away. We know it can be uncomfortable to stand up and speak in front of others, and so now I will ask for a volunteer from someone who has been here a while to tell us your name and how you found out about the church. We ask you to step close to the mic and speak into it directly and clearly so everyone can hear. Please be aware that you'll be visible on our Zoom camera and in the recording of this service, which is posted online. I think I saw a hand here. Pat? This Pat.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Pat Kalunder. I first came to this church in 1984 because there were Tai Chi classes on Saturday mornings. I was totally phobic about church, and it was 5 years before I looked in that door. But I joined in 1996, and it's been great. The people here are wonderful.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, and that's how it's done. If you are new here, a visitor, or an old friend, please raise your hand to stand and come up to the mic in front of the pulpit. Good morning.
Hi, I'm Reverend Alexa Fraser. My congregation is in Poughkeepsie, New York, the UU Fellowship of Poughkeepsie. But because it's pandemic times and life is weird, we live in Rockville, Maryland, next to another UUCR. This is my partner, Ken Yopst, almost lifelong UU. He became a UU in college, and it's very exciting to be here. We're visiting our son, who's doing a degree at the Riverside University, and I have my say, we're back every Thanksgiving for the 5 years he's here.
I'll just say that it's always so nice to be welcomed at a UU church, no matter where I am as I travel. I do a lot of bicycling, and it's just wonderful to be so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome. If there's someone online who would like to introduce themselves, please raise your hand and we will call you by Zoom. For any other new guests, please join us for socializing and coffee hour after the service. We'd love to chat with you out in the parish hall, where you can also find our visitors book. I'm sorry, I didn't see whether or not there was anyone else in the audience who wanted to introduce themselves. Is there anyone who'd like to come up? My name is Kate. All right. So for any other new guests, please join us for socializing and coffee hour after the service. We'd love to chat with you out in the parish hall, where you can also find our visitors book. Please leave your name before you leave so that we know you are here, and leave your contact information if you'd like to know about upcoming events. For those online, the best way to get added to the mailing list is to email the church office at admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. Our hymn now is number 347, Gather the Spirit, from the Gray Hymnal. Please feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you, but once again, with your masks on. Please stand and body your spirit and join us in singing number 347, Gather the Spirit.
Gather
sacred fires will kindle a flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this life appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind. Seeds for the sowing are laid in store. Nurtured in love, conscious refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon, fed by the sun. Winter to spring, summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again.
Sharing our stewardship. First, I'd like to announce the holiday SOS. SOS, or Sharing Our Spirit, is a program to help families in need during the holiday season. All of the income from this fundraiser goes into our designated SOS fund. Today is the final day of this community drive, and we ask you to give generously today to the extent that you are willing and able, so that we can reach out to the less fortunate ones in our community. Your donations will go toward providing food and gifts to those who may be struggling this season. This past Thursday, we opened our doors to the community and shared a holiday luncheon with our friends, family, and guests. We appreciate all of you who donated and participated in making this possible. Special thanks go out to Robert Braun and his assistant, Waylon, for all of their hard work in the main preparations. Please mark all donations to this fund as SOS. You may write this on the subject line of your check or place cash contributions in the specially marked envelopes in the pews and place them in the offertory plates. All monetary donations and donated items are tax deductible. Thank you so much for your support. Now the regular offertory. This portion of our service is to support our beloved historical church. This can be accomplished in several ways. In addition to the weekly collection, you may send your checks to the church address, which is shown here. You may also contribute by PayPal using the QR code, which is shown here, as well as on the church website and in the newsletter. Stater Brothers Market gives our church a rebate on Stater grocery cards, which we will have in church each Sunday. You get the full value, and the church also receives a percentage for free. Please donate as the Spirit moves you by whatever method works best for you. Thank you for your generosity. And to those who give of their time and their talent, thank you for your generous care and attention. Will our ushers now please come forward to receive the collection? Our next hymn is number 402, From You I Receive, from the Gray Hymnal. Again, feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you, but with your masks on. Please stand in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 402, From You I Receive.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Our meditation today will be led by our meditation specialist, UUCR President, Pat Kawunder.
Good morning. I'm grateful that I got asked to lead the gratitude meditation. And let me say, like all UU experiences, everything is totally optional. As I give directions, feel free to ignore them or disobey them. Enjoy. Use your own judgment about what's best for you. So first of all, make sure you're sitting comfortably. I think it's important to have both feet flat on the floor and some awareness that your spine is straight. But again, it's up to you. During the course of the meditation, some people find it's more useful to close your eyes. You're welcome to do that at any time. I'd like to begin with some long, slow, deep breaths. As you know, the research shows that the lower third of our lungs, we normally don't exchange that air. So you want to exhale fully and then take some nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Now I'd like you to turn your attention to some time in your life when something happened that you were grateful for. It can be big or small, but something that surprised you, something that you hadn't been expecting, a gift, a kindness. And I'd like you to think about how that made you feel. Maybe you felt warmth in your chest, or maybe your belly got how happy. But that's what gratitude does. It makes us aware of the abundance when so often we're aware of the scarcity. It's a happiness that bubbles up when you realize someone or something has gifted you. That's what gratitude can do. It can change the kind of a day you're having. Now I would like you to think of something you're grateful for right now. It can be large or small. I would ask that you speak it out. If you're comfortable doing so, speak it out loud. I'll start. I'm grateful for sunshine. I love the way it warms me up. The way we have such beautiful sunrises and sunsets this time of year. It makes the plants grow and be beautiful. So I'm asking you to just speak out one or two words or an explanation. Let's fill the air with what we're grateful for.
First,
Janice Levi. Thanksgiving leftovers. Fireworks. Joanne Anderson, who taught me Tai Chi and Tai Chi.
The messages were brought to us every Sunday. Inspirations for the week. Action and
Mm. Snow that I can visit. Thank you all for participating. As many of you know, I hold a meditation class on Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. here. And I hate to do this in the middle of a service, but the research shows if you meditate 5 minutes a day for 8 weeks, your brain is permanently altered in a good way. So I invite you to come to our class. People who attend are wonderful and nice, and we have a good time. So thank you all.
Thank you, Pat. Today, our member Tinka Friend will be reading the sermon, The Need for Thanksgiving by Reverend Joseph Boyd. This sermon was originally delivered on November 24th, 2019. Originally from Oregon, Joseph Boyd first discovered Unitarian Universalism at First Unitarian Church in Portland. He served as an adult mentor with what is now called the Unitarian Universalist Association Thrive Leadership Schools for youth and young adults of color, and is a Master of Divinity student at Union Theological Seminary in New York City. His interests as a minister range from contemplative spiritual practices, the integration of psychiatry and religion, theater and storytelling as a means of transformation, and helps those directly impacted by incarceration. He most recently finished working as a student chaplain at Rikers Island Correctional Facilities, exploring the use of horticulture as therapy with inmates and detainees. He lives in New York with his beautiful and talented wife, Jennifer, and cats, Jasper and Simon. Now, I would like to introduce Tinka Friend reading the sermon, The Need for Thanksgiving. Please note that this reading was selected from the website of the UU Church of Youngstown, Ohio, and does not necessarily reflect the views of the reader.
Before I actually start the homily, I just want to say how I was here Thanksgiving this past Thursday. It was wonderful. We had members of the church that gathered together, especially those members of our church who don't have a family living nearby that they could go to. It was wonderful to be in fellowship with members of this congregation, and the doors were open for anybody who wanted to come in. And we had quite a few homeless people. In fact, it might have been either 50-50 or maybe 40-60 with members of the congregation and members of our community that came in. And it was wonderful to see us to live the values that we preach and that we hear, on Sunday morning here, that taking the abundance that we had and being able to share with those who didn't have it. So I just wanted to say that was a wonderful experience. There has been a great debate about whether we should even celebrate Thanksgiving anymore. Most of you know the indigenous peoples of this nation, First Nations peoples, who see this holiday as marking the beginning of genocide. On the other hand, this holiday for many has little to do with the stories of First Peoples or even the Pilgrims. It is about being grateful for the morning, grateful for a warm house, grateful for community, grateful for all the elements that uphold and make our life possible, grateful for the reminder of beauty. Well, I have 5 minutes to bridge this gap for all of us. And the truth is, I can't bridge it. I cannot do it in 5 minutes, in 5 years, maybe 5 lifetimes would be a start. I don't think mere words can both make amends for the violent nation disrespectful of land and people, and to honor the very real human need that we have to come together in community to be grateful for what we have. Gratitude is the practice of making living amends. True gratitude is willing to see that there are many different sides to this morning. The past can deepen our gratitude if we let it. Gratitude as a practice can only go so far if we only focus on being grateful for those things that we like. Gratitude can be misused if it is used to get us to ignore or overlook critical aspects of this morning. A deep gratitude is able to take in the whole panorama, including the parts that we have not made sense of yet, and allow it to change us. This is the first year I've thought of the land during Thanksgiving. I've mostly been focused on people, First Peoples, Pilgrims, Sarah Joseph Hale, who wrote Mary Had a Little Lamb. Hale lobbied Abraham Lincoln to make Thanksgiving a national holiday to help heal families and communities following the Civil War. I think about them. I think about churches across the nation who have Thanksgivings like ours. I think of my own journey of never celebrating Thanksgiving for religious reasons and now preaching Thanksgiving sermons. This is the kind of stuff I usually think about. It is a very complex holiday, full of hope, omission, full of the need for amends, hope for reconciliation, hope for all that may come, can come, and enjoy the harvest. But I can say to my own embarrassment that I have only seriously thought of the land this year, even though without the land, we would have no harvest. Without the land, we would have no food. Without the land, we wouldn't have had genocide. Without the land, we wouldn't have had war. Without the land, we would never have had the need for healing and reconciliation. I'm beginning to learn a simple but necessary lesson, that I belong to the land. I belong to the morning and not the other way around. I think this is something that comes through or has the possibility of coming through during this holiday, if we let it. The morning is beautiful because it is there for us, and we have an opportunity to be there for it, to pay attention to it. The land beckons us to remember those who have lived on it, including our grandma, including Northern and Southern soldiers during the Civil War, including indigenous tribes. The land has been here for all of us, but we have not always been there for the land or for the people who made this land thrive. And right now, we yearn for this precious land to last as long as it can. The land has seen everything we've done as a people. It has seen everything that has transpired. And still, it keeps providing the harvest. I am grateful for the harvest. I am grateful for this church. I am grateful for a community like this where we expand our vision to include those who are too often forgotten and ignored. I am grateful for the continual challenge to see the world as it is and as it could be. I'm grateful for a place like this that does not try to omit history, but provides us practices to live with integrity. One of those practices is gratitude. Gratitude for Grandma's house. Gratitude for this church. Gratitude for the land that supports both. Gratitude for this morning. Gratitude for knowing that we belong. And gratitude for the opportunity to make living amends and together find healing for a nation. Are you doing acknowledgements?
Thank you, Tinka. Now we would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank all of the volunteers who share their time and talents to sustain the mission of our church. There are many responsibilities involved in caring for our spiritual home. We would like to express our gratitude to those who give generously of their time and talents throughout the year. Thank you to the Board of Trustees for providing the leadership and guidance needed to steer the operations and activities of the UUCR. This includes Pat Kawunder, who's our president, Steve Fuji, vice president and chair of church council. I don't think he's present today. Adam Wedeking, secretary. Kate Lewicki, treasurer. And then Avery Burrows, Linda Van Boris, and Lauren Young. Lauren Young's here with us today, who are the general members of the board. We'd also like to thank Robert Brown, our church administrator, for providing office administration and beyond, and keeping the church on track in terms of compliance, events, scheduling, and so much more. Thank you to the worship committee for coordinating and presenting the weekly services that serve the spiritual needs of the congregation and the community. This includes Alec Peck, who is our chair, raise your hand, and music coordinator. We'd also like to thank his partner, Margaret, who often joins us in the singing of the musical selection. Thank you, Margaret. Adam Wedeking, our visual and online coordinator. Kate Lewicki, sound and audio coordinator. And Avery Burrows, Bill Casey, Tinka Friend, Grace Preuss, and Nick Williams, who are also part of the committee. Thank you to the membership committee for reaching out and extending a welcome to members and visitors who support our efforts. At the moment, we are Grace Preuss and Dinah Rowe, who is also not here today, but any volunteers in this area are very welcome. The Social and Environmental Justice Committee, led by Adam Wedeking, chair. Again, I think we all know Adam, he's up here in front. Thank you for performing the important work of keeping us informed and increasing our awareness of all the social issues that affect us all, and how we can stay active in demonstrating our principles as an organization in the world at large. Members of the Social Environmental Justice Committee include Avery Burrows, Tinka Friend, Nick Williams, Lee Greer, John Longfield, Grace Preuss, and Linda Van Voorhees. Thank you. Women's Fed. Thank you for organizing meetings and events that educate and enrich our collective and individual outlook and purpose. Pat Kawunder, chair. We also extend our thanks to those who are always there for us to volunteer in church maintenance and support us in any capacity. We appreciate all the volunteers who show up throughout the year to support our fundraisers and events. Special thanks go out to Bill Rowe, Lee Greer, Dinah Rowe, Adam Wedeking, Avery Burrows, Robert Brown, Kate Lewicki, Linda Van Voorhees, and Sandra Verhagen, who also contributes very much to the church. Thank you so much. We all play an individual part in keeping our spiritual home open during the fluctuations of current challenges, and this could not be done without all of your efforts. We are grateful to those who enter our doors and our online portals. We are grateful to those of you who maintain and prepare the spiritual space for us. For those of you who lead in administrating and organizing the smooth operations of our congregation. Those of you who coordinate, present, and speak at the weekly services. Our guest speakers who share their time and their messages. Those of you who arrange and lead the musical selections. Those of you who monitor the sound equipment and online participation. Those of you who organize and contribute to our refreshments, fundraisers, events, and meals. And those of you who give of your time and resources to support our efforts. Thank you to all our new and old members who have been here throughout the years. Together, we build something greater than the sum of our parts. We are here because you are here, and we appreciate you all. Okay, now the fun part. Now that we are all situated in a grateful state of mind, if you are willing and able, we invite you to come up and share one thing this year that you are thankful for in your life today. Afterwards, we invite you to write one thing on a leaf at the table and leave it in the basket or hang it on our thankfulness tree so that we can reflect on all the good things that we have had this year. So please, whoever would like to come up and let us know what you're thankful for this year.
Morning, I'm Nick Williams. I'm grateful for this day. 36 years ago, I got sober, and today I'm celebrating that sobriety by bringing a cake here to the church, and we'll, after the service, we'll cut it up and eat it, and that will be good.
I'm Tinka Friend, and I'm also grateful for my husband's sobriety. We this year celebrated 48 years of marriage, which never would have happened had it not been for the sobriety and for the spiritual program that we both entered into 36 years ago. And on that day, in 1986, November 27th, was actually Thanksgiving Day that year. So every time Thanksgiving comes around, I'm always extremely grateful for that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alec. So over the past year, my family has been meeting once a week by Zoom because mainly this started as a way of getting my grandfather, who now lives alone all the way in New York, getting a way of him having some contact with other people. But it has also had a secondary consequence that, so I've only got one cousin, which I understand is fairly unusual for a lot of people. So my experience is that I have a very small extended family, and I don't really know them that well. And I still don't know my one cousin very well. I haven't seen him or certainly not had a real conversation with him since we were children. But because my aunt, his mother, has been joining us on our family Zoom calls, I've actually gotten to know my aunt as a person. And until we got to see each other on Zoom regularly, she was just, someone from my childhood who only knew me as a child, not who I am now, certainly. It would have been very awkward, to say the least, if we had had a Thanksgiving gathering and seen each other. But now I can speak with her as someone whom I know is part of my family and who knows about me, and I know several things about her, which is really nice to be able to get to meet her as a person.
So we're just taking volunteers if they'd like to come up and say a few words about what they're thankful for, but there's no pressure. You don't have to do it if you don't feel like it. if there are people, please come up, feel free to do so. And if you'd just like to write something on the leaf to put on our tree, that's fine as well.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Everhart, and I'm grateful for being a teacher because I never planned to be a teacher. I actually planned on getting into web development and software. And as I was looking for work, I was on Indeed and saw a job opening for a teacher in a private school. And the school's name was very weird. It's called Big Minds Unschool. And I was like, what is this? This is very strange, but hey, looks like I qualify for it. They needed somebody to be a coding teacher. So I ended up getting the job, and now I have 10 wonderful students. They're all 8 to 12. And I love them to bits and pieces. And it was very random and spontaneous, and I did not plan it. So I'm very grateful for that.
Anyone else out there who'd like to share their thanks? Hello.
I can now walk Mount Rubdo Mountain, which I'll be doing shortly, without any repercussions or problems, thanks to an ablation procedure, a heart procedure. Thank you.
"12 years ago, when I was swimming at the YMCA, the lifeguard asked me if I wanted to join a master's swim class. And I've become a serious swimmer. I try to swim every day, and I'm grateful for it because it feels so good. And I can do it forever."
Anyone else who'd like to come up? Right here, right here. Uh-huh. Okay, if there's no one else here in the hall, as I said, feel free to write whatever you'd like on the leaf and hang it on our tree. Is there anyone online, Adam, who'd like to join us? Okay.
Yeah, why don't you?
Yes. Okay.
You to read it, Grace.
Oh, even better. Hi, Linda. Can you hear me?
Hi, don't you like my picture? That's because I'm still in bed this morning. I'm grateful for my husband, Dave. He is my husband, and as our path in life has taken us to many different places, I am very grateful for the opportunity through both those good and those bad ways on our path that I have grown to be a better person. And I am also grateful for the Course of Miracles because that has indeed been a miracle for me. In my spiritual path, I have grown tremendously this life in ways that I have not expected. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. So we'll give people a few minutes to write what they'd like on their leave. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Is there anyone else out there still writing? Or has everyone written something? Okay, so I'll just read some of the things that people are grateful for, and then Nick will put it on the tree. Grateful for the return of my roommate. Water to bathe with, a job I enjoy, my house being paid off, enough food to eat for the first time in my life, being okay with money. Bubbling brooks. For friends, for this church, community, for the companionship of feline friends. Health. Good health. Appreciation for something, I guess. I think that's good health. Appreciation for something and good health. For my husband, the love of my life.
And I am grateful for the sun and its warmth. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. It's really wonderful to see all the major and minor things that we are all grateful for. And I think it's always good to reflect on everything that we have. Our closing hymn today is number 355, We Lift Our Heart in Thanks, from the Gray Hymnal. Again, please feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you with your masks on. Please stand and body your spirit and join us in singing number 355, We Lift Our Heart in Thanks.
We lift our hearts in thanks today for all the gifts of life, and first for peace that turns away the enmities of strife, and next the beauty of the earth, its flowers and lovely things. The spring's great miracle of birth with sound of songs and wings. Then harvest of its teeming soil in orchard, croft, and field. But more the service and the toil of those who help them yield. And most the gifts of hope and love, of wisdom, truth, and right, the gifts that shine like stars above to chart the world by night.
I want to thank you all for being here this morning. Your presence enriches us. Your sharing enriches us. And so today we are thankful for you and what you bring to our church. Your spirit, talents, generosity, imagination, and dedication reaffirm our fellowship and create our beloved community. Our heartfelt thanks to you on this day and for all days to come. For those who embrace Thanksgiving as a day to honor the gifts of family and friendship, abundance, security, we celebrate with you and join our voices to hold aloft all sacred blessings. For those of you who hold Thanksgiving as a day of sadness, who mourn for the hurt and the loss of Native peoples, those who are lonely, who grieve the loss of those dear and beloved, we hold your heartache and sorrow so you do not have to carry the burden alone. Blessings be upon you. Namaste, amen, and blessed be.
Thank you to all of you for sharing your valuable time and insights with us this morning. It is sincerely appreciated, and we look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you for joining our service today. We invite you now to join us for further fellowship in the parish hall. Thank you.